Hi, everybody. Joe Cioffi here on this Monday on the backside of this major storm that's east of Cape Cod and beginning to impact Nova Scotia and points in southeastern Canada. Right now, of course, on the backside, we're getting some pretty strong winds. There's a buoy offshore here with a gust of 54. We've seen some gusts into the 40 to 45 mile an hour range across Long Island and coastal Connecticut and down through parts of New Jersey. Gust of 43 near Atlantic City. Gust to 45 a little further north up into northern Ocean County, and there's every bit of gusts in the 30s and 40s, even in some inland spots. And I'm just going to move over to the action that's going on in Maine, where they're getting pounded by big snows along the coast, blizzard warnings up, gust of 63 miles an hour reported at the buoy offshore. In coastal Maine here. It's just amazing some of the numbers that we'll probably see here. With this low developing, we're getting into some winds offshore sustained to hurricane force. Let's see what we have. Look at these winds in Nova Scotia. Gust to 56, gust to 62, Halifax gusting to 46. A buoy just offshore, gust past hurricane force here. I mean, just amazing. With respect to the winds that we're seeing, and I'll just see if it's affecting any points further to the east yet. And you're even getting gusts up toward. Let's see if can I get Newfoundland here? Yeah, I can. I can see the winds at Newfoundland where they're already picking up into some gusts to 35 to 40 miles an hour. So they're getting ready to get under the influence of this major storm here, this low that's sitting just to the southeast of Nova Scotia. Now, I'll take you to the map on the GFS. The heavy snows begin to shift out of Maine and move northeastward into Nova Scotia and New Brunswick in the darker blues. That low very deep. The low moves straight east pretty much before it starts lifting northeast, and it pretty much holds its intensity as well as it moves along. You see this heavier snow moving into southeastern Newfoundland, kind of grazing the coastline there. And then snows on and off continue. And then we have this next storm that's going to be developing off the New England coast. So Maine could get it again, and Nova Scotia might get some of it again, although I'm not sure exactly of the track here, if it's going to wind up going west of Halifax, in which case the coast will probably change over to rain. So you're going to have another threat here in a couple of days. So let's take a look at what we can see so far of the new GFS run. I don't anticipate any issues regarding this southern system and this low to the north. They're not synced up. Okay, the timing is off. This upper air trough is diving southeastward, but it's setting up too far to the east, so that when this low gets absorbed and you finally get some redevelopment, it's going to be off the coast of Maine and not off the coast of New Jersey or off the coast of Virginia. You can see the low starts to redevelop here. The southern low just kind of gets absorbed by it. There's the primary low in right on the New York State-Canadian border, and this is for Wednesday afternoon. Might be a shower, a rain shower. Model doesn't even show anything for our area, but you can see there's some snow up in northern New England again, and a low is going to form right there, and there you go with the snows again for Maine and beyond. Looks like the low goes right over Nova Scotia, so this time the heavier snows will probably be further inland, north and west, with regards to this. Let's look at the snowfall map. I'm going to go back to southeastern Canada. I want to correct the mistake that I made yesterday on my video I did last night highlighting this storm for southeastern Canada. This is the one map where they switched to centimeters. So I kind of misread it. I did misread it. So these are the additional snows on top of whatever's already fallen. And, another 15 centimeters. It's basically 2.5 centimeters equals an inch. So you're talking about 25 centimeters, 24 centimeters over Nova Scotia and into New Brunswick. So that translates roughly into about an additional 10 inches on top of whatever has fallen. You've got a 35 number being printed here, so that would be closer to 15. And you can see the snows for as we total them up through that and the next storm that's coming. So now we've got 41 centimeters, 35 centimeters. The snows for Newfoundland look to be less, on the order of 12 to 20 centimeters. The winds, let's take a look at those with respect to the winds, because they are fierce for sure. And the winds are in knots, which is good. So let's back it up, and here we are. We're just going to get it over to the even. So let me just set the 6-hour map, and here we are for 1 o'clock this afternoon. The purple area here, these are sustained winds of 50 to 70 miles an hour, 50 to 70 knots. So I mean, these translates to hurricane force. Certainly, these are sustained winds, so these are going to translate to hurricane force gusts. And the 40 to 50 knot winds penetrate areas right along the coast, and they continue into this evening and then gradually diminish as we go through the day on Tuesday. Now let's look at what we can expect in terms of the longer term, because it looks like the pattern is going to go to sleep for a little while. And we'll start with the current upper air, and then I'm going to go back one model run because we'll have the whole thing. So, you can see here what's happening. You got this southern stream system. Here's our lead system here. That goes out to 50 and 50, which is right about there. See, now at this point, if this system were to have stalled out even for about 12 hours, it would force this shortwave that's coming down to dive southeastward and cause the storm development to be off the New Jersey coast. It would also probably pick up the southern system that would get involved. But because that low is not going to hold the 50-50 position, you see how it just kind of lifts right up and out. The one behind it, instead of digging southeastward, gets to progress right along, swings around to move east and then northeast, and it does eventually get wrapped up and intensifies, but that's when it's over New England. So if the upper system is always going to be to the northwest of where the surface system is, except in rare instances, the surface low is going to be somewhere over here. So instead of being down here, it's going to be right over there, east of the Maine coast. And then that pulls out. And then after that, as we back up to the earlier run so we can see far enough, the upper low and the whole feature that existed in Canada just pulls right out. And you do have a weak trough that goes off the coast Sunday and Monday, but basically you have a ridge position here. Now, one of the things you're going to have to watch for, there is a northern jet here that's trying to come down. That might keep it from getting too warm, at least initially. But then eventually we do get into a ridge position later next week. So I would think for at least 3 or 4 days, it's going to be very warm here in the east. And then you've got the next trough that finally swings around. And then in the longer term, the pattern looks pretty messy. I'm not quite sure what to make of it. It looks like the blocking goes away for a little while. I kind of think what may happen is, we had that stretch from late December into the first part of January where the pattern got cold and active, and then we had that long break, and then the pattern got cold and active again for the beginning of February. Now we're getting a long break. So I think the logic to me says that by the for the beginning of March, maybe for the first couple of weeks of March, we're going to evolve again into another active pattern, which probably will begin to wind down the winter, if my logic holds. Because I've often observed that over the years that patterns kind of tend to repeat themselves. History never repeats itself exactly, but it does tend to rhyme, at least for a little while. So this is sort of a rhyming pattern that we have across the country. As we look across the United States, and I know I have so many new subscribers now that are from all over the place, and they want me to spend time in their area. So I'm going to try to do the best I can here, folks. Otherwise, these videos are going to wind up being 25 minutes long, and I think there are probably some of you that would sit through the whole thing. But here we go. So here's that first system, and there's the redevelopment off the Gulf of Maine. In the west, we have another storm coming into the Pacific Northwest. The rest of the nation in between looks pretty quiet. That system weakens as it comes eastward. You get a little low that gets generated in the central Gulf here. Another system comes into the west toward next weekend. Nothing seems to be overly strong here. And that one moves up into the plains, but look how warm it is even there. It has rain all the way up to the Canadian border. That's pretty unusual. And that'll get kicked along to the east. And by the time we get to around February 23rd, looks like some action here in the eastern states. Once again, the model's, trying to bring in a little cold air into the Great Lakes, but who knows, because now we're in fantasy land in terms of specific forecasts, and then starts running a couple of weather systems along across the country. So, I mean, a few storms that come in along the way. This one here, the model's kind of shooting it out way from the southwest into California, so that's pretty odd. We'll have to see if that's just a one-run wonder or if it's something more meaningful. And at least from the standpoint of what I'm seeing in here, it doesn't look like we have any big storms to worry about once we get through what's going on in New England over the next couple of days. And then after that, to tell you the truth, I'm kind of looking forward to a little bit of a break. When my area gets busy, I get a little overwhelmed with it all. But I manage to struggle through it, and everything gets done. So we will leave it here for today. With latest posts on meteorologistjoecioffi.com. You can also download my app and subscribe to my local forecast. There'll be a little card that shows up at the top of the screen, so you can directly link to it. It's via My Weather Concierge, which you can download on your iPhone or your Android, and the forecast subscription is just $1 a month if you're interested. And you get me, and you don't get any kind of automated icons that pop up. You get my stuff, what I think, et cetera, et cetera. And also, for those of you who have lasted this long, welcome to my YouTube channel. And if you would, you can subscribe to my YouTube videos here on my YouTube channel. That's absolutely free. You'll get a notification every time a new video goes up. And this way, you'll always be on top of the weather as it develops. Everybody have a safe Monday, especially with the winds here in the Northeast. Very, very gusty. So probably be some power outages and a few trees that'll go bye-bye through all of this. So be safe. In New England, northern New England, you've got your blizzard going on, but that's the way it's supposed to be up in northern New England. Okay, so everybody have a great day.